So we're up here with Danielle and Wyatt. We're going to talk about this is the most devastating fire to ever hit California, the worst in history. 85 fatalities, many people injured, still 3 missing. Just a terrible thing. We're standing in the shop of what is one of Wyatt's sponsors on his sprint car. And what's it like, Wyatt, to come up here and see this kind of devastation?
It's heartbreaking. I mean, we got families and businesses, people that this is all they have, and to see it just gone up in smoke, really.
Right.
Not to be a smartass about it, but it's just gone. There's nothing left.
Yeah, and Danielle, you were born and raised right in this town, correct?
Yeah, I was born and raised here, and since we've been friends with the Bookets who own the shop for many years now, and so I come here and stop by on the way to places and come talk to them, and we had one of Wyatt's wings was here, and it was just another home, kind of, if
Sure.
you want to say. And so even just standing here and looking at like a truck that he's put so much time into and seeing what it is now, it's just terrible to see. And I mean, it's hard to know that this is what I grew up in.
Yes, right. And we drove around a little bit, which we'll take a look at some of these places. But there's 18,000 plus structures burned to the ground here in the first 4 hours of the fire. So I mean, it must have been intense, and people had limited amount of time to get out of here. Correct?
Yeah, very, very limited amount of time. It was, as the fire was going, cars were going up in flames.
Wow.
With people still on. I mean, you're just at that point you're fleeing for your life.
Sure.
You're going as trying to survive.
Right. And now and everybody's that's displaced is somewhere in a camper somewhere down in Chico, like at the fairgrounds where we're going to be racing this weekend. But what about some of these people? Where do they go? Where do they stay? I mean, how will they get their lives back? And they lost their homes, their memories. The wildlife is gone. Some of their pets. I mean, how do you come back and rebuild?
One thing that I've seen a lot about this town, just in my time being up here, and knowing everybody here, like the Burketts, the Hansens, God's the number one person in their life, and that's who they're going to follow.
Right.
There's time and a reason for everything, and they're just going to follow him and his strengths, and hopefully they'll be able to come back stronger, better,
Right.
every way.
Right. Well, God bless you all. That's for sure. I mean, we're just in one structure right here, and this is insane. What used to be ATVs. Your sponsor told me that was going to be a show truck or shop truck.
Yeah, shop truck.
Just got it finished.
Go and
And
get the parts, yeah. Just
now look at it.
unbelievable.
Cars all the way back through. It's going to take a while to clean this place up, this town. So I imagine that's a lot of work. And I know you're involved with your father and doing some things up here for the community.
Doing a lot of the big semi cleanups and whatnot, and yeah.
Right. Now Danielle, like you went to school here and everything. I mean, is the school still standing or?
The high school's standing. It's right around the corner from here. We can go by there, but it's still standing. It has some smoke damage, so they're in Chico at another location for now. They are hoping to graduate the 2019 class up here.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
So that would be pretty cool. The one elementary school is a complete loss, and the middle school is standing though. It shows how hit and miss the fire was. It didn't show grace to anything.
And from what I gathered from you earlier was that there wasn't a lot of warning about this whole fire coming through here.
No, I had left that morning probably about 7:30. By 7:50, my parents were evacuating.
Wow.
And it took them 6.5 hours to get down the hill. And from that, there was no 911 call, there was nothing.
Which is really incredible because I read where once the fire hit Paradise, the town was gone in the first 4 hours of that fire. The fire started November 8th, I believe, this fire they call the campfire, and it took them 17 days to get it 100% contained. But you can see what it has done. I mean, it left a lot of destruction in its path, and it's really a sad situation. Hopefully we can see some good out of this. Guys, I know that, California is known for many wildfires, and, obviously after you hear so many, you're kind of wondering, is it really happening? But this one was, by far the worst in California history. So take me through, like, your day that day. You told me you were headed to school, so is that what happened?
I was heading down to Chico State that morning. I had an exam, and I remember, how stupid it sounds, trying to figure out what I was going to wear that morning to school to go take an exam. And I remember I was like, oh, I'll just put on some old comfy clothes. Well, silly me, those old comfy clothes are what I was in for the next 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
But I was driving down Skyway and I saw the smoke, and I actually texted my dad and I said, do I need to come home? What's up? We've been evacuated 3 other times over the years, and so I didn't know.
So it was kind of like you didn't know if
Yeah.
this is real or...
It was kind of, okay, it's another evacuation. Do I need to come home and get a few things? And he told me, go to school, take your test. And 10 minutes later, I heard on the radio that they were evacuating Paradise. And so I called my parents and they said, we're trying to get our neighbors out and we're just leaving.
Okay.
And they actually got a 101-year-old neighbor out and 2 other families.
Wow.
And that was it.
So did you have contact with them throughout the time of their departure here?
I talked to them for the first 2 hours, and actually they were only about 2 miles away from here for the first 2 hours, stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic.
Yeah, everybody trying to get out.
Yes. And then the phone lines went down.
Oh.
And the last conversation I had with my dad is, we're in our cars and we're on pavement, we should be okay.
So that's the last thing your dad said?
That was the last thing he
I'm
said.
sure you were scared out of your mind.
I was scared, and it was for 4.5 hours after that I didn't know
You didn't know.
where they were, if they were going to be out, if I was going to see them again.
Sure.
And at that point, not knowing if a house was standing was the last thing on my mind.
Right.
I just wanted them to make it to Chico.
Sure. And you were by yourself because you couldn't actually get it even to Wyatt, right?
Yeah,
Wyatt
Wyatt couldn't get down to Chico. So I was staying at my grandma's house waiting to figure out what was going on. And we were just praying and hoping. And I was glued to the TV,
Yeah.
watching every car go by the news, saying, is that my parents? Is that their truck? Is that their car? And getting disappointed each time.
Sure.
So it was a lot of heartbreak. And at that point, I wasn't even worried about if a house was standing. I just wanted to know that they got out.
Yeah, you want to see your parents.
And I wanted to see them. And that was the longest day. I don't think...
I can't even imagine. I mean, anybody that's watching this probably can't even imagine unless they were actually here.
Yeah, it felt like 2 hours, and then the next thing I knew, it was 6.5 hours.
This fire caused $16.5 billion in damage. And from what I've told, $4 billion of it isn't insured. So could you imagine the heartache that some are going to have to go through to not get things replaced? So you housed your sprint cars, right?
No, so luckily me and Steven started our business down in Chico, and so a lot of my welders, tools, everything like that, my Australian buddy had his race car here, and we kept it down there. And luckily I did that. We started that in June. If not, there would have been a lot more stuff here. But I run for Roth Motorsports, so I didn't have race cars or nothing here when I did. So just all my trophies, suits, trophies since I was 6 years old. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously those things aren't replaceable,
No.
but
You remember them though.
yeah, you remember them. That's right. But you hate to see them go.
Yeah. It's crazy the day it happened. Like, yo, we'll be back. I don't need to grab any. But
Yeah, we heard a lot of people saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, we've been through this before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
since
not
we've
gonna
been here for
happen.
3 years, like, we had one that started in the canyon over here, and you could feel the heat. And I went and told my neighbor, hey, we're leaving. And we came back, you know. And
Everything was good.
It was fine, yeah. So you thought the same thing was happening, and then this all happens.
I mean, I guess the fortunate thing is your house is so
Yeah, yeah,
and your neighbor.
yeah.
If you look around you, they're not so lucky.
No.
I guess.
No, there's not much.
I mean, were you guys home?
So I was home with my daughter. It was my day to take her to daycare, and my wife was working down in Chico. She works right at the bottom of the Skyway here, and she was the one that she called me and said, "Hey, I see a cloud of smoke." And I'm like, "Babe, it's raining here." It wasn't raining; it was ash. I was in my house still, and I just heard ding, ding, ding. I thought it was water, and so I'm like, "Babe, it's raining." I walked out and said, "That's not water." And so that's when I let my little one sleep, packed up what we could, and then she drove all the way back up here, and then we headed back down.
Gotcha.
So I was glad I was here because we had our dogs and our cat and all that
yeah.
stuff. We were able to get out and take home.
So you got out early enough you didn't have to worry about like the traffic jam going out.
So she pulled a great move. We pulled onto the Skyway, which is that main road you guys came up,
Yeah.
and they are backed up all the way to, like, we're stuck. And she pulls right in the suicide lane. We passed 300 cars. And I followed her. I'm like, "I taught you well. Good job." And on we went.
Obviously she was a little scared.
Yeah, she was right. It was crazy. It looked like Armageddon. It was pretty gnarly.
I can't even imagine.
No, but the difference of her grandmother lived like a couple roads up from us, and she left an hour later, and she didn't get down to Chico to my shop till like 4 in the afternoon. Like, it took us an hour. It took her like 5.
Wow.
Just stuck. Unreal.
Well, I mean, I guess on the good note is it's not going to affect your racing season. So
No.
everything as normal.
Yeah. Well, I'm taking not racing as much this year.
Gotcha.
So I don't know if it played into worked out that was meant to happen, because it's going to take a lot to figure all this out and the shop and everything. So, but we're still racing, just not as much.
And you'll stay? You'll stay in Paradise?
Yeah, I think so. I'm coming back. I mean, I plan to come back up, at least get our house going and fixed and see what it's like up here.
Yeah.
The biggest thing's the water. I don't know if people told you about that. The water's
No.
the biggest thing. It's not drinkable.
Right.
It's not, like, I have 2 little kids, so I can't bathe them in it.
So the water's probably has benzene in it or something
Yeah,
like that?
yeah. And so you can get water tanks, people said. Like, my old man, he's living there, but he's 80. He said, "What's going to kill me?" So he's already living back there and showering in it and stuff.
Set in his ways.
Yeah. But he's back here, so he's watching it, and he's a good neighbor. So, yeah, we plan to come back. We hope to. I mean, we want to. I mean, what happened here is everything got ate up, and everything in Chico's going for way too much money.
Yeah, sure.
Like, and my wife works here, I work here, I have the shop now, so it's like we can't really leave. So, I mean, I couldn't. I like it up here. That's why we moved up here.
That's what everybody says. I
Yeah.
mean, that's why they called it Paradise.
Yeah, I loved it.
A lot different.
I grew up in Sac. I don't know where all you guys grew up, but it was way too much traffic for me in Sacramento and too many people. So this is right up my alley, away from everything.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
It's a very nice place.
Yeah.
With part of our tour, we've kind of named it the California Fire Relief Tour. With everything that's happened in the area, we are donating $1 of every ticket to the race back to the California Fire Foundation. We also have T-shirts that are benefiting the California Fire Foundation, and we're also inviting firefighters out to the events, them and their families. So we've got some tickets that we'd like to give you guys.
We appreciate that.
To
cool.
come out and have some fun.
Sounds great.
So.
Awesome.
So these are just a donation.
Yep.
Okay.
just-
Cool. And then what days are they?
It's for Friday at Chico here at
For
the
Friday.
Silver Dollar Speedway.
Yeah,
Yep.
just Friday.
Just Friday. Perfect. Okay. Cool.
We had to stop
Yeah,
now for Friday.
we'll hand them out to everybody.
Disperse them out.
Yeah.
All right, thanks a
Yeah,
lot.
sure.
guys.
People would like to
Appreciate it.
go check the races out.
And thanks for everything
Thank
you've done.
you.